Please welcome back to the People's Morning Show. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is Slash. The new album, a blues album, is going to be out May 17th. Two songs have been released from the album. We're talking about Killing Floor with the great Brian Johnson, Steven Tyler, of course, on harmonica, and Oh Well with Chris Stapleton, and an array of great artists and guest vocalists. Slash, how do you pick who is going to be one of these guest vocalists?
I picked the song first, and then I would just think who it was that would sound good on said song. So it was pretty simple process.
Now, who blew you away vocally? Was it somebody like Demi Lovato or Dorothy? Who were you
I have to give due credit to everybody that is on there because they were all amazing. I think probably the one Demi, she didn't surprise me, but I think that was just, she did such an amazing job on that song that it was noteworthy, but right. Also Chris Robinson, when he came in to do the Pusher, I know Chris a little bit. We go way back to the beginning of the Black Crowes coming out, and so we knew each other back then. And I haven't seen him in years, but I called him up because I thought he'd be great for that song. And he came in and just nailed that song in one take. It was done, and it was, and with a harmonica on top of it. So like going back and forth on the same mic with the harp and vocal and all that. And that was pretty cool. But I mean, I could go down the line. I mean, Billy Gibbons blew me away with Hoochie Coochie Man, Paul Rogers on Born Under Bad Sign, and the list goes on.
It was great to see you actually in a studio environment with Brian Johnson since COVID and all that mess. Was it cool to actually be in the same room doing stuff?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I can't express enough what a great experience is working with a good friend of yours and having him do something that he was so excited about, and just being in the same room. It's that kind of energy that it's sort of, as a musician, you sort of live for.
And there's so many great blues standards, blues songs. Are these songs you've loved all your life and finally put them on record? Is that how the decision was kind of made?
Yeah, more or less. I mean, they're all songs, that I grew up with, but the bigger inspiration for doing the record was I used to play these songs in a blues cover band back in the 90s.
Wow.
And these were all songs that I was influenced by and knew when I was a kid. And so there were songs from back then. And then there was a couple songs that I wanted to do that I'd never done before, that are on here as well. Killing Floor was one of them. I didn't do that back in the 90s, but I always wanted to, and finally got a chance to do it.
A guy like you who influences everyone, who are you influenced by right now? What's on your playlist? Your favorite new artists we may not know about?
Well, I just did a photo shoot with Samantha Fish and Kingfish, Chris Ingram yesterday, and those are two musicians that are going to be on this tour that we got coming up for the blues record, and they're fantastic. So I mean, those are artists that are relatively new to me that I think are great. And there's a few different ones actually on this tour. There is Jackie Venson, who's on it, who's amazing. That's on this tour.
Okay.
And, so there's different people. But as far as rock bands, I think Dirty Honey was the last new rock band to come out that I thought was really great. There's a lot of great records by artists that we're all very familiar with that's come out over the last couple of years, Metallica and Queens of the Stone Age and the Black Crowes. But as far as new artists are concerned, there's a lot of new guitar players, some of which I don't know by name, but YouTube is really been a great outlet for discovering a lot of new talent in that sense. So yeah, there's a lot going on.
Have you ever shopped at a Walmart? And if so, what did you buy?
I actually shopped. This is I don't know if it's embarrassing or if it's just funny, whatever, but I shopped at my first Walmart. I think it was only like maybe 6 years ago. And I went in there with my girlfriend because she knew Walmart, she went there all the time. I just never went into a Walmart. So she and I went in together, and I forgot what we bought. But it was one of those like, so this is a Walmart, kind of.
That's right. I can't imagine as a guy of your status, you do many everyday things anymore, but do you practice on a day-to-day basis? Do you pick up
I
the guitar if you're
oh
not
yeah.
working?
No, listen, I keep a guitar with me at all times. I have this paranoia that I'll forget how to play if I don't keep it on me. But yeah, I'm always playing. I had a session last night and I'll be playing today. Yeah, I'm always playing and you know, when you use the word practice, I mean, you know, I think of like sitting there and doing scales and all that kind of stuff. I'm not huge on that kind of practicing, but I'm definitely writing and coming up with licks and you know and before shows you do some exercising and you know whatnot.
Is the idea of working with somebody like Iggy Pop with a new record? Do you get starstruck? Did you have a hard time directing a guy like that, or you're just kind of you're Slash for God's sakes, for
uh,
goodness?
well listen, don't tell anybody, but yeah, I get starstruck at the you know if anybody that I'm really familiar with that I you know admire and respect walks into a room, but I've learned how to pull it off.
Yeah,
But working with Iggy, I've known Iggy for a lot of years, and so with him, you know, it's really he's very down to earth and he's a hard worker and he's just one of those natural like when he as soon as he opens his mouth, something great comes out,
yeah,
and you just sort of hang and just do it. But there was you know, working with Brian Johnson was sort of like somebody I've known for a long time too, but to actually be in a room with him while he was singing was a little surreal.
I
You know?
can only imagine. Absolutely, but you do learn over time to kind of force your way through the nerves you may have with someone who you look up to, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, it's you really have to sort of consciously be cool and play it off. Otherwise, you sort of, you know, get a little giddy.
Is it weird being as famous as you are? My son is dressed up as you 2 times for Halloween. Is it weird walking around like being you?
You know, I really I don't like to draw attention to myself. So
Right?
when I'm you know, and I'm pretty much pretty proactive as far as stuff around the house or just like going to a you know going to the pharmacy or In and Out Burger, whatever it is. So
Right?
I and people do tend to recognize you, but they're usually pretty cool, and it doesn't seem like that big a deal. Um, but yeah, the Halloween thing, you know, that I mean, I'm honored that because I love animation and stuff, and I'm
Right?
really honored that I've become sort of an animated character that people actually dress up for Halloween. I mean, you know, you can't hate that.
No.
Um, but
Listen, it's
you know, I went to a party one time, and there was a couple that were at this party, and it was Axel and Slash, and it was a little awkward.
oh God, I wish I was there for that. Oh, that's tremendous. Ladies and gentlemen, he is Slash. It's Orgy of the Damned out May 17th. An honor, my friend. Thank you for joining the People's Morning Show again, Slash.
Good talking to you, and have a good one.